up guys, Steve here again from RC Tanks and Trucks 24/7 here with another video. This time it's regarding the XMAXX and I finally broke it. I kind of had a date with the tree and for some reason the XMAXX came off second best. But anyway, it was going to happen. Not much damage, just the bottom left lower control arm and or wishbone and the suspension shaft. That's pretty much it. I think one of the pins went missing, so it didn't actually break, it just kind of flew out. God knows where it is. I'll never find that again, but anyway, I've got some parts, so let's go check them out. So here's the first one, part number 7731, and that is it's a suspension arm, lower left, front or rear, it's the same thing. Not bad. They're so massive too when you think about it, they're huge. Also I needed was part number 7763, it's a shock shaft, GDX shock shaft, 110 millimeters long. You buy these in a kit like that, it comes in two. Next up, 7766, so it's a spring, obviously comes in two in black. Doesn't buy one, you can only buy two, but at least I got a spare, so there you go, not too shabby. And last but not least, part number 7740, suspension pin set. You get a front and a rear. They're hardened steel apparently. So you get 4x85mm, 4x47mm, and 4x33mm. So there you go. All these parts that I just got and just showed you, got them all from CRAZYHobbies. I will leave the link in the description below. But let's get cracking and see how we install these. Happy days. Okay, now we've got this behemoth on the bench. Trying to find a suitable place to build it is a challenge. So here is the old wishbone there, you can see, or control arm. And the new one, let's crack her open. Nothing like getting new parts. There we go, brand spanker. They're very solid, definitely rigid, and these are so simple. To get them out, it's extremely simple. I kind of zoom into the camera here. I did it off camera because I was just making sure I had the correct part, but all it is, a pin just runs through here and that slides in there like that. It's just super easy. See? Happy days. So your pin runs through there and it gets held off by a little screw here just in case, just so it holds it in there so the shaft never can pop out if this screw is in there. But I will show you how I do that. Okay, right, as you can see, I've pretty much put the pin all the way in, but for demonstration purposes, slide it all the way in there like that so it's flush with the face of that. And then you get, this is a little screw that kind of just holds it all in place so it can never ever work its way out over time. So all that does, it just sits, just nips the edge of the shaft there and it can never come out. Pretty cool. There we go. Beauty about this truck, it's so big, it's a pleasure to work on because all the parts are just big, you know, especially for us hands like that, big guy hands, you don't fiddle around too much with parts. But as you can see, there we go, if I zoom in on for you guys, there we go, just like that. Next step. So the same dealio here, here's the pin here. Find the sweet spot, slide her on in, and that's it. That's all she wrote. Just pop it off with that little screw there, and we're up to the next step, the shocks. Now another common problem when you have an accident is because where the thread on this shaft actually gets turned down, it's obviously a weak spot because it's a different diameter to the rest of the shaft. So generally that is a weak spot and that's where it will snap. like I have done right there. So when you buy the new kit, you get 2 of these, and that's how it would look pretty much. Like that. So all you need to do is undo this, pull this one out, and slot this new puppy right on in there. Okay, now in order to pull all the shocks apart, it's fairly easy. There's a little rubber grommet you pull off first, and then you pretty much just unscrew this cap off ever so gently, and don't forget not to tip that over because it is full of fluid, and because these are so massive it does hold a fair bit. So it's always beneficial to just pour it out in a plastic container. Saves the good old mess happening. So there we go. Put that back in there. It's a fair bit, there's a lot of weight in there. What the volume on that would be. Just going to leave that somewhere so it doesn't fall over, if I can find somewhere. There we go. So all we need to do, undo that bolt, and we should be able to put the new one all back on. Now it's always good, if you got to get rid of this nut here, make sure you can clamp onto this round shaft. Obviously that's a challenge, so just protect the shaft so you don't scratch it and stuff like that by putting a little cloth around it like I have done here. Otherwise you'll be there forever trying to undo it. So this is just held on by a simple little nut here. Very easy to do, as you can see. Remove the top of the piston like that. You can kick that to the curb, you don't need that anymore because we've got a nice new shiny one here ready to be installed, and it pretty much goes on the same way as the other. Just trying to get some focus. There we go. Very easy. Keep that washer there, and there she blows. Lock it back off, and we'll put it back in again. Okay, now for order to put it all back together again, we have to obviously unscrew this top piece here. Try to get a good grip and give it a good twist off. It is on there fairly hard. But give it time and she will come loose. So there we go. So that's where my old one snapped off, right there. There we go. Now we just got to slide her in the good old shock there. And if you're like me, I didn't get any more fluid, you can just use, kind of reuse your old one you just took out. Just as long as you haven't gotten rid of or lost too much of it in the process of changing all this out. That's what I'll do. I'll lift this up and down, make sure there's no bubbles, and I'll put it all together and see the next step. Okay, so there we have one completed shock, all ready to rock and roll. Obviously missing the spring, and also this part that is on the broken part that I've annihilated. What you need to do, there's a screw here that you just remove, slide that out, don't lose it, pop this old one off like that, and you're good as gold. So what that does with your new one, as you can see, there's a hole here that simply just slides back on over like that, and slide that down and lock it back down with that little screw that we have, so she won't be going nowhere. So once that's done as well, I also need that small pin that holds it to the lower wishbone there, which is this one here. As you can see there, there's a good demonstration I was saying before how that holds the pin in so it can never ever come loose. As long as you put these back in, it's pretty much impossible for that pin to come loose and work its way out of there. Let's get that one out. Bit of gentle persuasion always helps. I hate when that happens. Put it back in there. There we go. That is what I need. Next step. Okay, some of you eagle-eyed viewers might have noticed that I forgot one step. I didn't put the spring on, so obviously you've got to put the spring on before you put the lower cap on here. But there you go. One whole unit ready to go back in. It's very easy, just drop it in there. You can do the top or bottom first. Let's just do the top. And that's sew it in. Obviously, another pin. Like I said, so easy to work on. Because I'm doing this in front of the camera, it obviously takes longer. But you could do this within half an hour, 20 minutes easily. It's taking your sweet ass time as well. Make sure that is where it needs to be. Like that. And happy days, feels like it should, how it was when I bought it. So let's see how long it stays like this. But I must admit, I have given this bad boy a fair bit of a hiding, and it has stained up to any abuse apart from a massive tree in the way. So we'll see. And there we go, everyone, all locked and loaded, brand new with everything installed, ready to hit the trails again, and hopefully not some more trees. But if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up like always. Many more videos to come with the X-MAXX and pretty much everything else. So that's it. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Cheers, guys.
You crazy mother.